Hello everyone and welcome to this video on DCET questions on the first unit of IT skills, that is Introduction to Basics of Coding. So in this video we are going to solve the questions based on the concepts of basics of coding, which is also a IT skills first unit and important unit in terms of the number of questions, in terms of the marks weightage. It is going to be one of the important unit. So we will solve the question and understand how the particular answer or how the particular solution we are getting. Beginning with this, the first question over here is what is the primary purpose of computer programming? So here four options have been given. I hope you are aware about the DCT exam procedure. That is a question. Along with that, four options will be given. You need to choose the correct answer by picking the correct option. So the four options given over here are designing computer hardware, writing programs to perform tasks, managing computer networks, and creating graphical user interface. So the primary purpose of any programming language or a programming overall is to write program to perform specific task. So it is not for any managing hardware, network or nothing, but the main purpose is to perform the specific task. Even though it can be used for networking or other purpose, whenever we talk about the primary purpose, it is always the writing programs to perform tasks. So the option B is the correct answer over here. The next question over here is which of the following is not a programming language? So given four options, you need to find a programming option which is not a programming language. So the options are Python, HTML, SQL, and JPEG. We all know that Python is a programming language that we use for writing programs for in the purpose of data structure, algorithms, machine learning, networking, or any other kind of game development. In all kind, we are using Python, so it is one of the programming language. HTML, sometimes HTML may be considered as a markup language, but when we consider the broader overview, HTML is still one of the programming language. Third one is SQL. SQL is a query language actually, but again, when we consider the broader overview, it is also one of the programming language. But the JPEG, which is the last option, it is not a what we say programming language. It is an image format. So the correct option is JPEG. So except JPEG, the other three are programming language. JPEG is the image format. Next thing, what is an algorithm? The four options are like a programming language, a step-by-step procedure to solve a problem, a type of computer hardware, or a software application. So we all know that whenever we talk about algorithm, we are talking about the sequence of steps or the step-by-step procedure to solve any particular problem. Whenever we want to solve any particular problem, the first step we will be making is write a procedure or write a step-by-step procedure, like finding sum of two numbers. We will begin with take two numbers, add them, and store it into third variable, then print the sum variable, such thing. So you need to make sure write the step-by-step procedure, and that whole process, whatever is there, that we call it as an algorithm. So it is not a programming language, not a hardware, not a software. It is a one of the procedure to uh, find a logic or to find a procedure to solve a problem, and it is written before writing the code. So that's why it is called as algorithm. It's not a programming language. So the correct option is a step-by-step procedure to solve a problem. Next question. Which algorithm sorting technique has the best average case time complexity? Whenever we talk about the best average case time complexity, like bubble sort, insertion sort, quick sort, and selection sort, all have one or the other kind of time complexity. The best time complexity is the quick sort over here because the bubble sort and insertion sort and selection sort will be using somewhat of n square time complexity, whereas quick sort will be using it in terms of n log n in its average case time complexity. So the correct option is option number C. The next thing, the what is the purpose of a flowchart in a programming? We have seen algorithm. The flowchart is nothing but the graphical or the visual representation of the algorithm. Whenever we have a algorithm and we want to display in terms of a graphical or a diagrammatic view, we will be using flowchart. So flowchart is the one of the graphical representation of a programming or a algorithm. So to write code directly, the options are to write code directly, to represent the flow of control, to execute programs, to design computer hardware. So whenever we want to represent it in terms of a flow of a control or in the form of a diagram, we will be using the flowchart. Even you can guess the correct option by the name itself. The name itself contains flowchart, flow of the any program. So to represent the flow of control by using that kind of uh, sense, you can guess the correct answer. So try to understand the questions correctly. Then you can look over the options. You will be easily getting it. In a flowchart, what does the symbol with an oval shape represent? We know there are different symbols like oval symbol for something, uh, the diamond symbol for something, rectangular for something. So in the similar way, the oval symbol will be representing the start or the end. Start or the end. The decision making whenever we will be having diamond shape, and whenever we have a input or output, we will be having a parallelogram, and whenever we have a process we can have rectangle such thing. So oval will be representing start or end. So to represent start or end we will be having a oval shape. Which phase of the program development life cycle involves finding and fixing errors in the code? So there are different software development life cycles like requirement gathering, planning, uh, coding, then having maintenance. Even before that, we will be having testing. After that, maintenance, software release. So there are some set of 6 to 7 life cycle steps in the software development life cycle or the program development life cycle. The question is, which phase involves finding and fixing errors? So whenever we want to find and fix errors, it will be done in the step of testing, because planning is like having a overall plan like estimation of the cost, estimation of the technologies to be used, whereas coding will be like developing the application by writing a code. Maintenance will be maintaining it, the databases, the networks, taking the input from the users and updating it. All these things are maintenance, whereas finding and fixing errors will be coming in the stage of testing. So even here also, the name itself suggests testing means finding and fixing errors. So by common English words, you can guess the correct answer. Next question is, what is IDE in the context of application development? Whenever we have a IDE in any programming language, it is used for uh, writing codes, running it, debugging it. So everything will be provided in a single environment. That environment we will be calling it as IDE. So the IDE, the full form of IDE will be integrated development environment. Don't get confused with the different option like given over here: interface, internet, instructional, entity, design, such thing. But the correct answer over here is option A, integrated development environment. You can guess the answer. You can remember it by looking at the keyword like development. It is used for the development. Coding is in the sense we are doing a development. The best example for the IDE can be NetBeans, JetBrains, PyCharms, VS Code, such things. And why it is integrated? Because coding, testing, debugging, everything is encapsulated into one software. That's why it is called as integrated development environment. Next question.